All right, here we are. I am so excited that we are having our very first series of Sandra and Chanda Wisdoms, Channeled Truths, and Transformations. How are you today, Sandra?
I'm doing awesome. Sunday fun day.
Yeah, that's right. You always often say that on your YouTube channel. You got the Sunday Fun Day going. Tell us what a Sunday Fun Day means to you.
Well, for me, it means no routine,
Oh,
no
nice.
scheduling, hopefully, no alarm. Just kind of go by the seat of my pants on what did I choose to do for my day that isn't in the routine that's evolving on the other 6 days.
Right, right. I think a Sunday fun day for me is like just let me do me. Like let me do me instead of me having to do everyone else. Like not that I'm against that, but it's just, let me just do for me. Last night I was able to just like I took a really lovely salt bath and then I did all of the like lotions and taking care of the physical body, all the extra stuff that we don't get to do through our busy work weeks. So, I guess for this gathering that we're going to have like as a series, I really wanted us to be able to provide from our heart, from our personal experiences, from the experiences that we observe in others, and really be able to provide, like, maybe even tips, tricks, and how we are able to assist, you know? So I thought I would throw that at you and see what you think. How did you see this gathering of us and everyone? I see a few people loading it on the chat. We're just getting going, guys. Come on in.
Well, Shanda, I really think right now we've had a lot of what feels like setbacks because of the energetics that have some, root explanation and some mystified by what's going on. Um, so we have a lot of what I want to call um, folks flooding the fed up mountain. It's getting a little crowded up there.
Oh, that's good stuff. Hold on. Folks flooding the fed up mountain. Gosh,
Yes.
you're so good with those phrases.
I wasn't sure
Okay.
how that was going to come out
Oh,
because
I love it.
they were saying it to me differently, and I just sort of had to translate it with the words I have.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but we really are. We're at this what you want to call precipice, the tippy top of like everybody's just not had it up to here. It's we are on overload and just
Hmm.
freaking done with so much stuff. Unfortunately, many have no clue what got them there. It's just like the temperature spiked, above hell, and they're recognizing it.
Yeah.
And they're at the point now where they're just throwing things out, people, places, and things. There's a lot of
Hmm.
discarding because they don't have the capability of actually processing how they actually got here. All they know is they've hit this wall and they're at Fed Up Mountain.
Fed up mountain. So I've been experienced that as myself with myself and others. But it's not like this is what I would prefer. I'd prefer if we could be at the top of Fed Up Mountain, and also be like, okay, but hold on a minute. What did I miss on the way up? What did I see? Because Mercury's retrograde, like literally within hours, okay, and we're already in that shadow. So it's like really important, even though we may be at the top of Fed Up Mountain, to look back and say, you might have dropped something along the way. There might be something you need to review. There might have been something that you don't necessarily understand, nor have you had perception to see, because there's so many illusions, delusions, and confusions out there, and people are digging in their heels with their belief systems. Big digging of the heels of the belief systems, I believe. And it's very prevalent because we have what's called a square aspect, which is a intense, like restricting, blocking, challenging aspect happening for the first time between Saturn, the planet of discipline and structure, blocks and, getting it done the right way, the old tried and true way kind of Saturn, and Jupiter, which is like wants to just be optimism and magnify and blow everything up. So, you're having this expansion. Let's go. I want to jump. I want to do. And then you're having, but I can't because of this, or because of this happens. There's just this expansion and retraction, happening all month long, because we're feeling it all month long, even though it's not exact until the middle of the month. This Saturn Jupiter opposition, I do believe, is going to, not opposition, square, is going to be a pretty intense ride to be mixing that in with Mercury retrograde amongst a really, 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 really intense Aquarian full moon on the way. And today, by the way, is the dark moon in Leo, the new moon. It's already apex this morning. So we just got a lot of these astrological cosmic type of energies on top of the Lion's Gate that's coming up, the 8-8 that everybody just signs on. And that's the other thing. How do you feel about that? I mean, people just signing on to just whatever, it's like, okay, let's just like plug all of our energies into something that we don't really know a lot about. And please do understand, there's no judgment which way. I'm just stating that to me, it's like this is information that I have found. Take it or leave it. Don't attack me. I've had someone attack me. I've had another lady tell me I was just trying to build myself a name. And I was like, you got to be shitting me. Anyway, that was my morning.
Well, we already know when we're going to be vocal, we're going to get some harpoons.
Yeah.
Some arrows and harpoons, period. And, we just have to let them, hit the Teflon and fall off.
But I just said, come on over. I said, just come on over and check it out. I said, I told her, I said, just come on over. Just come on. Here's the link.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Most people are not thinking logically about changing the chemistry of themselves through changing their perceptions. Period. They don't realize the power of opening up and expanding to a possibility that maybe they've been led down a sinkhole and it isn't all that. And perhaps it wasn't for the highest, regardless, even though some notoriety names or celebrity names, so to speak, in the spiritual communities may say so. I am finding that we have to be very careful on our witchery. We have to be very careful on our rituals. Mm-hmm. And if you are not in full understanding of what it is that you're supporting, because every thought, everything that exudes from your body either contributes or it goes against. And still that's a contribution to something, right?
Yeah.
So this 8-8 thing, Spirit has been taking me back for quite some time to look at the fact that calendars were never the calendars. So what is it with all these so-called man-made within 30, 31 days of a month? And what is the du jour flavor of the month? What's the special of the month that's occurring? It's not the same as following planets moving. That's been going on. Mm-hmm. This is a calendar in which people have placed, and then you've got a lot of people out here pushing portals, vortexes, windows, and these are supposed to be, hurry up, there's an opportunity. So you think if you don't leap, you're not going to gain or benefit from all that. But honestly, we really need to stop and think about the thought process of what it is that we're supporting.
Yeah, I think so too. I really do. It gets to be so like there's a lot of process that you go through before you, for me anyway, before I sign on with even a client or sign on to something like this. We have been doing this for a while, so we're seasoned, and we make sure to take care of our own energy field It's not like we're just going to plug into something that, is random. And that was my main concern, is like, look, there's this Draco star every single year aligned, and stars don't move, but a smidget, a teeny tiny smidget every 72 years. And it's a fixed star, and it's aligned with the sun every year on 8/8. And in addition to that, I could go down a whole slew of lists, which I will be doing a video on that, a separate video. But in addition to that, it's virtually, literally impossible that the sun, the earth, and Sirius align on 8/8. It happens in Cancer season. It doesn't happen in Leo season. And this is all supposed to be based on the Mayan calendar, Galactic New Year, from the 26th to the 12th. So it's kind of like, okay, I can look this up scientifically, read a chart, study, and I found a handful of other astrologers who've also brought this forward. And I'm not saying that even astrology is the like end all be all, Sometimes we got to question that too, because I feel the end all be all is our own soul, our own higher consciousness, who we are as a person, and who we are as a being inside of this flesh suit, having this experience,
And also, there's different levels of Fed Up Mountain. Where are you on Fed Up Mountain? I mean, right. The thing is that people are just getting tired of hearing some of the same old. And, some are going to just cut it all off and walk away in a different direction. And some are going to start swiping and going, nope, I don't want to listen to that anymore. That is just not resonating with me whatsoever. And you know what? We've been asking for years to evolve individually and collectively. We have been asking to ascend. We've been asking to get closer to more of our authentic self, to spin the dial out of ego into heart-based center. However, once somebody starts getting there or getting a taste of that, sometimes they have a lot of trepidation. Yeah. And maybe they're not really, again, working with their own chemistry through the change of thought and the perception of which they are understanding and then translating. So if you don't know what side of the fence you're on, how about just freaking staying neutral? How about just getting in neutral?
Yeah. Keep bringing it back to center, bringing it all back to center. I feel like, I'll be honest with you, this month is going to be another shocker month, just like last month. And we're in a political year, although I don't like to give a lot of, I guess, but we're here, so I would say that to expect the same kind of shock and awe throughout this month as people are continuously maybe climbing the mountain and jumping off the mountain. It's like at some point in time, you either got to shit or get off the pot, excuse me. But,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? At some point in time, you're going to have to like really do the work, and you're going to have to do your own. We're going to have a lot of shadow work coming up this month. I feel like a lot of people really needed to look at the divine shadow of the divine feminine, because there's a lot of feminine energy that's going to be reprocessed, relooked at, especially when we come through and we start up Virgo season. We're wrapping up this Leo season with a Virgo-esque, meaning Leo season is about expanding the heart, right? It's also about paying attention to how you're showing up in the world, being able to look at yourself in the mirror and know that you are a higher ascended, multidimensional being in a flesh suit, that you have that power and that ability within you to move your life force by your will. That's Leo to me. That's my perception of Leo on the basic end. And then when we move into Virgo, we're going to be really welcoming in more of that practicality that we're already starting to, because Venus is now in Virgo. Venus has just entered Virgo. Yep. And so that's our love, our money, our values, how we magnetically attract, what we're attracted to. I have a big feeling there'll be a lot of people changing their minds multiple directions, multiple ways, going in multiple, like you're going to go this way, then you're going to go this way. And they're going to be like, oh no, I forgot this. I'm going to have to go back and get this. And on the energetics, that's rough on the nervous system and ignites all of that stuff. And so what would you give for advice on the ignition of this nervous system and all of that intel that just came through?
I would say listen to the messages of your fidgetness. When you're fidgety, people are told that that's wrong. When you're fidgety, your body's saying, I'm uncomfortable. Somewhere something isn't connecting. And I'm not comfortable physically, mentally, emotionally. Something is making me where I'm unable to sit still. So you have to ask yourself, what exactly is that? Are you okay with moving around and fidgeting enough so you can find a spot where you're physically comfortable, you're emotionally comfortable, you're mentally comfortable? Are you at a place where you could push a few buttons and maybe step outside of your comfort zone and maybe find a position that's completely different than what somebody shared with you before or what you've used before? I look at all those things as being courageous. You're showing some bravery when you're like, you know what, that doesn't feel comfortable anymore. I don't like that position, or I don't like that fullness of that position. I feel comfortable maybe tweaking it a little bit. So we're moving into, I think, areas where, again, we're at this, a lot of fire. I mean, people's jaws are grit and they just want to out at anybody that's in my way. And so we've got a lot of people out here, including the innocent, who feel like they've done so much of their work. And it's like, oh my gosh, how did I get to this platform where I feel like everyone's got their claws out towards me, or I'm being excluded, or, I don't have a pack. I don't have a tribe. I've got what? Why did I come all this distance to feel, see, and sense all of this? But then again, you got to say, you test your immunity, you test everything about yourself by getting out of your comfort zone. And so get into the fidgeting.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome the fidgeting, like seriously, welcome that anxiety. There is all kinds of ways, including sound bowls, sound healing. There's breath work. There is take a salt bath. There is go swim. Like I swam last night underneath Venus. Cup of tea. Thank you. So many ways that we can calm ourselves. But really, I've been encouraging my clients to step into it. Just step into it, even the uncomfortableness, because when you start stepping into it, you're either going to fly or you're going to fall, one or the other. But if you're fearful of it and you're not like taking that bold, because that's bold fire, fixed fire of Leo is bold. It's courageous. Think of the lion, right? The head of the pride. You want to be able to feel confident and step into what it is that you're doing, even if that means you're going to get abandoned, rejection, all of it. And even if you're going to get into a spat or a fight with somebody that you love, because you're going to learn so much from that interaction and you'll evolve into the space that I believe at every moment we are naturally falling into the space that we're meant to be, one way or the other. It's going to happen, being cautious of our energy while doing the bold step into it, climb the mountain or jump off, whatever. I think I'll walk your phrase up. I'm sorry.
No, wear a different pair of boots on that damn mountain, would you?
Oh, right.
And the other thing too.
What if I want to go? Wait. What if I want to go barefoot?
Go ahead, do whatever you want.
Boots on the ground.
It's your journey. It's your journey. There's no race to get to the top of being fed up.
Right.
But you know what? We've got to create our own first aid kits. And so, we're taught to put a Band-Aid on something immediately. We're taught to pop a pill. We're taught to get out of what's uncomfortable. We're taught that. So that's all programming. So it's like, okay, what if the uncomfortableness is teaching me something? It's broadening, it's
Mm-hmm.
expanding. You know, women develop more of a pain resistance because they have gone through more pain. So their pain receptors get accustomed to it.
Yeah.
Monthly periods, having children, pregnancies,
Mm-hmm.
uh, menopause, postmenopause. We go through a lot that's physical, mental, and emotional. And so each time we go through these things, we develop a tolerance for certain things, right?
Yeah,
So
we do.
we've got to create a first aid kit that says, hey, I'm going to build this first aid kit that works for me on this next leg of my journey. Maybe right now I don't need a heavy coat and boots. Maybe I don't need a 5 gallon of water. Maybe I just need a small amount of water, small amount of food, less clothing. So we have
Right.
to really adapt to the elements of the expansion through
Mm-hmm.
creating a first aid kit for ourselves.
I like it. Spiritual first aid kit. See, I call it the spiritual toolbox. Oh no, I call it the sparkle toolbox.
I
What
call it the spiritual toolbox.
reach in, you do the spiritual. Reach in your sparkle toolbox is what I would say.
Yes. Because we're all here as spiritual athletes. And
Yeah.
that depends on the physical endurance, the mental endurance, and the emotional endurance that all collaborates alongside of the spiritual journey. So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that the mind's skewedness, okay, that we're stepping into, it's like the mind is just like almost like playing tricks on us a lot this month. So it's really important to step into that spiritual toolbox, sparkle toolbox, and step into the heart and you utilize what you can. For instance, I had a friend this morning say, "Gosh, I woke up with such a headache," and I'm like, "Do you have any peppermint
Mhm.
oil? Just put a little peppermint oil, there on your temples. It may burn your eyes for a minute. Just let it, and normally that wipes it out." We are in the middle of a G3 storm currently right now. So the geomagnetics are insanely up. Let me just double check to make sure I'm still correct. Oh, hell. Yeah. We're in the middle of a G3, a high G3. That's KP6 on the meter reading, which normal is around 0 to 1. So, yeah, it's that coronal mass ejection, and there's multiples coming in from those solar flares. So that's the other thing. People feeling exhausted, not being able to keep up. I get wired like hell when these things happen. I'm just like, I don't get wiped out like I used to. I guess maybe just because I've been doing this for a while. What about you? Do they affect you much? And how do you see and understand the world during those like high intensity events?
Well, first of all, I really don't pay attention to what's being posted about those events because even back in the day when you didn't have anyone posting them out, my body would tell me something was up.
Yep.
So I've always done the stop, drop, sit, connect with my breath. Where am I? Because our bodies will self-regulate. We're
Yeah,
not
they will.
allowing them we're not allowing them the space to self-regulate, you know. And Spirit was showing me this morning is like, how do you expect your nervous system to work when you're in the middle of a haunted house? How do you expect yourself to feel like you're in a safe place to regulate when you're in the middle of what you think is ghosts, goblins, and something's out to get you?
Yeah.
With all these
Yeah.
programs and predictions and everything
Mm-hmm.
else. So I too will go through spells of being super energized. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised when I go to bed, I'm not, but
Yeah.
I go through, especially in the last 10 days, massive nausea, and then not so much dizzy spells, but being very off balance. Like
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden, I'm doing something and I lean and I'm literally stepping 5 steps to the side trying to catch myself, which is highly unusual for me. So, of course, I do catch myself with it before I fall down. And then I'll say, okay, something's up. I need to slow my roll. I need to
Mm-hmm.
allow my body to self regulate,
Mm-hmm.
get myself kiltered because I can't control the elements all out here that's coming in. I can only work on the fulcrum, so maybe I can't balance as much at this
Right.
moment.
Right. Yeah, I feel like there's just these little bitty tornadoes all around me, like going a million miles. Like I'm just like, "Ah!" And even at sleep, sleep time, I'm like, I need to sleep. I know I need to sleep, but I'm having a hard time sleeping. And Amy, she said she's also been dealing with the headaches and the head pressure. Um, I've had skin irritant type stuff just because I have real sensitive skin anyway. But also the dreams have been really tough. I've had a couple of nightmares this week, and I don't always have nightmares. Like, I don't remember the last time having a nightmare, which, I mean, it was really kind of like touching in, though, on some personal stuff with my family that's going on. So I recorded it down and I kind of ciphered through it a little bit, and I'm learning, and I know that I'm working in my dreams. I always have. I know this. But that was kind of freaky. And then, of course, when hearing reports from people that their dreams are just off the hook. Well, it's 29 degrees of Neptune. It's going to be there for a long while. So we're just going to have to expect these things. I feel like if we could all just realize, okay, it's going to be a little bit tense. It's going to be rocky. We're going to have shifts and changes that are going to elevate. We're going to have things that come in, and things happen very swiftly, very quickly. And we are the ones becoming Homo luminous rather than Homo sapien, igniting more of that light body, the crystalline structures, or whatever term you want to give it. We're really understanding that by the quicker, it's almost like I feel like the universe goes, I think that they need a little bit more. Let's crank it up a little bit more because, especially those few down there, they've worked really hard, or maybe it's like, Mercury's up there with his tablet and he's like, okay, so 30% of humanity is ready to take it to level 20 today. Just give them a taste of it. Just crank it really, really high, and then we'll level them out later. And it causes all kinds of distress in everybody's world. It's just crazy. It's crazy how all these energies have just really escalated in the past even year. Of course, I feel like it really kicked off for me 2010, 2012. But then, like, in this past 4 years, oh, forget about it, man. This has been just a wild ride.
Well, it's definitely new territory. It's a new platform. And we've got to, again, get into that first aid kit and find our filters and get ourselves in a place where we feel a little bit more grounded. Because the worst place to be is feeling out of control. But when you're out of control, what do? You've got to surrender a little bit so that you can figure out which way you are to turn. What's the best direction that would work for you at this moment? Or is just sitting still and not making any decision, not following anyone, not listening to anything but your own body, and adjusting the bass, adjusting the treble, adjusting your power chords accordingly so that you can move a short or longer distance and still be able to play this instrument to the best of your ability. Because without this instrument, you house nothing. You've got to really work this instrument to house the spirit and house the guidance counselors and the guardians and everything. And you know what? You touched on something about, elevating and so on to, you were saying something about, the divine feminine and so on.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
If you don't think you're not developing that or stepping into more of that, ask yourself, have you been a little extra sensitive lately? Have you been finding just more love and peace in something so simple and serene that maybe you didn't have those feelings before? And more of that's coming up because our for the lack of a better expression, our crystalline body, the crystalline body is expanding. But we've got energies going on with Mother Earth. We've got energies going on with all the planets that are shifting and moving. And so we are going to experience part of the emotional body that maybe we didn't experience before. And if we can douse it with a little bit more love, it may glide a little bit better. So you're not like, why am I crying? Or why am I like wanting to take somebody's head off? And this is the wave of all the emotions that are going on right now that are getting people to saying, I'm so fed up. F you and F you and F you. And you're like, but none of those people were contributors to what you're effing. You know, it's like you're lashing out at everyone and everything because people want change so bad. We also have to know we're in an election year. We got all kinds of things going on around the universe that we don't always know about, but we're feeling something's happening, something's coming.
Well, the volcano just blew on Mount Etna just yesterday. I don't know if you've heard that. In Italy, Sicily, Italy, a volcano out of there just blew. Like literally, it's red lava in the sky, not just a little poof. Like you can see it. I posted it on my page. So, you know, Mother Gaia, Earth shakeups, that I predicted that from the very beginning of the year. I was like, and many other astrologers did. I'm not exclusive. But, you know, it's like Earth shakeups. Mother Gaia is stretching. That divine feminine of Mother Gaia has got to move and stretch around, you know, and that's what that's about, you know, and we'll see more of that, especially since we still have a couple more years of Uranus being in Taurus, you know, and Uranus is the planet of shock and awe. It is the sky daddy. It's lightning coming in to strike your building, and boom, you have no internet. You know, it's very interesting how all of these are playing out, and I'll go into that more and more this week. I'm going to do a little live broadcast this Tuesday if y'all didn't know, so come join me. And then Sandra you're always doing stuff on your channel as well. I wanted to ask them while you respond real quick, if there's anybody in the chat that would like to ask us a question, this is a great time for you to bring that forward. But I was going to ask you, so what do you have on your channel that you're kind of like doing, and what is your focus there? Or is it just a daily, you know, whatever? I just let us know for those that don't know you.
Well, you know, it's whatever spirit brings through in the moment. So I can go days without doing a video, and then I could do 2 or 3 in one day. And it's been a little more few and far between recently. But in my meditations, you know, Mother Earth.
Come on down.
Mother Earth has been coming through. Yeehaw. Yeehaw.
I love it. Well, you're hanging out with a Texan. Come on now.
You know, she's been coming through quite a bit with messages about, you know, our inhabitants and working with her. Matter of fact, this morning she said, what fuel you put in your gas tank will determine the rev of your engine and its quality of revolutions per minute, your RPM. And so what she was showing me was what you're supporting and purchasing to have in your domestic environment, in your physical environment, in what you're ingesting mentally, emotionally, what you're buying into. She's having to process all of that. And it's time now to stand up and say, you know what? I'm not supporting that. I'm not buying that anymore. I don't want that in my house anymore. Physically, mentally, spiritually, etherically, emotionally. I don't want it. And because even though we're like, okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and do all this, whatever processes through our body, everybody else around us has to process it too, energetically. And then she's got to process it. And she's really been saying, I'm in the control seat now, and I'm not putting up with this anymore. And so her messages have been coming through very gently, but at the same time, she's like, today, whatever fuel you put in your engine is going to determine your revolutions per minute. And I thought, isn't that interesting? Because that's so true on every level.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If
I
you
also
think about
noticed,
just a car vehicle.
yeah, just a car vehicle, but you're comparing it to your own vessel. Just so everybody's clear, she's comparing it to our vessel, the flesh suit, the avatar that we
Yes.
house. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So what else? What else have you been got going on over there?
Well, I've been just
You're
working
in
on zone.
DC. If anybody doesn't know, she's in DC.
Yes, you can physically come if you live in Maryland, Virginia, or DC. You can physically come to my office and have a session, or I do them on Zoom for
Mm-hmm.
everyone that's convenient for them. Zone technique, advanced Reiki, intuitive healing. So I work on those things as well. Um, but really, I've been working a lot just on focusing on myself and being fully
Mm-hmm.
present. And I'm finding such a strength in that. And I'm also finding in that strength, it's been a little intimidating for some people to even be around me. And I'm finding it that I can't function in this 3D work world much longer because I've gotten to a level where I feel like I've reached this happy place, but not everybody appreciates that. So
Right.
they either rattles their chain,
Mm-hmm.
um, or whatever. Some people appreciate it. Some people are like, "Oh no, that's intimidating. I'm going to have to do what she does. I don't want to do that." So
Yeah.
it's causing issues in that. And a lot of people are going through this right
Mm-hmm.
now. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people are just going through their comfort zone, and like I said, fidget away till you find a place that you're comfortable, and don't hesitate to refidget till
And
you find a new space.
and don't hesitate to step into it if need be. And that's the other thing is sometimes when you have a higher frequency, and you do, and you step into something, you're gonna get sirens. You know what I'm saying, from those people who are coming at you, or that you're just meeting, or whatever it is. They get triggered, right? They get triggered by your high frequency, because your higher frequency brings out their shadow, and it's like they don't feel like they can shine, rather than having the full understanding that they can actually just come up and elevate. And I'm not trying to say one is better than the other, shadow to light, blah 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 blah. It's all the same energy, I get that. But I feel like sometimes I do that to people. Like, I'm just like trying to come at this from a joyful, happy life. Like, I'm just trying to live a happy life here. And then people are just like, people are
Yes.
really, really aggressive. This is some aggression. Mars being moved into Leo, that's fiery. That's some serious stuff right there. I'm sorry. I keep getting this. I keep getting two shadows walking past in my peripheral, so I have
Yes,
visitors
you
here.
do. I saw
Yes,
them.
I did. You see that? Because I'm like, okay, fellas, hi, what's going on here? But I wanted to also bring, because Mars is our war, it's our aggression, all that stuff. But I also wanted to bring out personally, you know, when we have when we have the sun, let's just say when the sun does enter Virgo, I feel like this is all going to kind of calm down a little bit into more of a practical, less aggressive, less, because Mars will be heading on in there um, as well. All of these planets are really hitting your sun sign. Ha! Yeah, you're about to be lit up. That's the other thing you got to remember. Even though your rising sign may be different than your actual on your chart, blah, 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 without getting into specifics. But when a person is almost back to their birthday or their solar return, that month before is kind of hectic. And you can expect like hidden things coming up. It's also like the house of hidden enemies, things coming at you just don't expect. That happens, right? And you're tired, but you got to keep going because there's life, right?
Yes.
So just remember that as you're going, and anybody else that's out there, if it's coming up on your birthday, that month before your birthday, it's more of a time to rest and relax and really kind of give yourself a break, because your sun has been around for a whole year and now it's come back to the point of birth. And it's kind of like when you go on a long trip. By the time you're done with a long trip, a couple days, you're like, I'm really missing my bed. I miss my own space. You have a good time and see a
Mhm.
lot of things, but you miss your own space. And then in the meantime, at the end there, you often ruffle some feathers yourself. So you got to be careful with that. It's like what I feel like this is what's coming through really strong here for this. Whoo, lots of tingles going on my face now. We have to remember that whatever comes through for us is meant for us in that moment. We have to remember that it's not supposed to be any other way than the way it is, and to just let all be what is, and what is be, you know.
Mhm. Mhm. Take a breath on that, everybody, because that's powerful. That's a powerful message. And having my chart done by you, um, when stuff starts happening and my human is feeling like its electrical stem is up a little higher than its
Mm,
magnetics, and things
mhm,
are not so balanced,
mhm,
I will remember some of the things that we talked about. And I go, oh, yes, 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 to be expected,
mhm,
to be expected. Okay,
mhm,
get it back into your physical body. Maybe go
mhm,
take a long walk. Maybe be a little more intentional with my walk. Maybe go a little faster.
mhm.
Um, but I have to let the energy filter through my body, because when we get what's going on right now without a lot of this understanding, maybe through understanding the chart, we can get a lot of trepidation, and we're like, whoa, hold up here, oh, let go here, and the stop yellow green lights are just flashing all over the place, that your entire physical and everything else gets fried along with it. But
Yeah,
it was very helpful for me, and you just brought that up by saying that about my sun sign right now,
yeah,
because I'm like, oh my goodness, this stuff already just started. I wasn't expecting it for another week or two, but it's already started. Some of
yeah.
those surprise lightning bolts and thunder
Yes, yes,
are
yes,
already occurring,
yes.
and it's knocking me off balance. So I need to connect a little bit more with my breath and understand the my solar return that month before is already occurring big time, and
Oh
it's all
yeah,
for my highest good. It's
yeah,
all on how I respond
yeah,
and react to
yeah.
whatever's happening, and to keep my nervous system intact.
Hmm. It's about the energy field that you are projecting, like you're a projector, and however you're putting it out there, well, that may very well be received by those that are awakened to the source from which it comes. But to those that are not awakened to that kind of stuff, it's just scary. It's just scary to them. It's like, whoa, who is this lady? And wow, am I going to have to be like her? You know what I'm saying? Or I may feel internally. See, there's a lot of subconscious triggers that are going on here in the Shitimokai. There's a lot of there's a lot of stuff being brought forward, I believe, that's not of this energy that's like in this time. I feel like there's a lot of energies that are at play that are being set up. It's like setting up dominoes. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of dominoes that you're setting up there before you can click that thing and make it go and let it fly, and make it all amazing. With, like, say
Mhm.
that you have 1,000 dominoes, right? And you got to like knock them all down and make them all look exactly perfect. Well, that's detail oriented stuff, and you're a master at that. And people will be intimidated by that. You just keep shining, because you got to trust that you're going to be in the right space, and that the time, wherever it is the exact divine time that it is, right? And it looks like we've had Amy. She said she just had her birthday in July. Happy birthday, Amy. And she said, yes, I've been energetically tired and needing to ground. Okay, so there's something else I'd like to bring through on the grounding practices, which is affirm right now you're grounded. Everybody, just affirm it. I'm grounded. Like, literally speak it into
Mhm.
existence. You are
Mhm.
already grounded. Now, does it feel wonderful to go out and walk with your bare feet on the beach? Yeah. Is it great to intentionally do that? Yeah. But I feel like everybody needs to take back their own power and say, I'm already grounded. I woke up grounded. I went to sleep grounded. I'm going to live grounded no matter. It's also like when you're clearing your food, you bless the food or you clear the food with energy, your energy field. This is why I've just told someone here recently that I'm thinking about dating that, like nothing, like we can kiss and hug, but nothing below the waist because my energy is like my number one. And I'm keeping my energy field crystalline, sparkling, clear. You know what I'm saying? I mean, seriously. Like, like you got to bring it forward. And that's the other thing, sexual energy. I had this one, I'm not going to say, thank you. I had this one, I got somebody here yelling. I think it's Leroy again. I've got this Lyran named Leroy, and he's always yelling at me. Girl, don't be saying her name. I'm like, I ain't gonna say her name. Anyway, they know. He knows. They know. Anyway, I'm sorry. Anyway, so I had a client this week, and it came up to like sexual tantric energy because she had some real serious traumas that way when she was younger, and I feel like it's important that we really guard that right now and utilize. I told her, I said, utilize the sexual energy. And she's like, well, I don't even really do all that with my husband no more or whatever. I was like, it's okay. Just do it yourself. Just do it yourself. Move it intentionally, ignite that kundalini because it's a signature in your specifics. But I think that honest to God, this is coming forward, not just for sexual energy, but for all of our energy to realize that we are the life force. And if everybody could see, like I see, like you see, the field, how big your field goes, man. It's crazy, amazing how you can pump it up. You can push it out, pump up your field, pump it up. I think I got a song going now, Sandra. I'll let you take it from there.
Well, this energy is igniting a lot of the second chakra. And so, it's not necessarily like you're getting below the pubic bone excited. It's an energy that's just above that. It almost feels like butterflies. And so some people don't know what to do with it. And sometimes I will get it and it'll open up so big, so fast. I'm like, it's almost like that roller coaster ride of like, and then you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And so you have to be, okay, thank you, I'm aware, and then expand that energy. Sometimes I'll bring it up and allow my third chakra and my heart chakra to experience some of it. I brought it up through the crown of my head. I've also just been there and ridden the wave of like, so okay, I recognize it, I feel it, I'm okay. And it's always, sometimes it happens when my guides are around and I've intentionally called them in a little bit closer. And then I'm like, okay, but there's like a time delay,
Yeah.
It could be a couple hours and it's like, oh my gosh, I did call them in. And so I'm seeing a pattern with that too. So it's letting you know that the loving energy is all around you. Right. And it's a creative loving energy. It just happens to be sexual expression is part of that kundalini, second chakra, whatever you want to call it. So I personally just breathe right through it. I just breathe through it. I could be walking, talking, sitting at my desk, meditating, doesn't matter. And you just allow it to just flow, acknowledge it, and set your intention to let it flow and to let it grow and show you.
Yes. Let it allow the energy to do what it needs to do. It may need to blossom. You may need to do some physical hygiene. You just never know which direction your body is telling you to go right down there, And I also feel like, I don't know why we're getting on this, but Leroy is like,
maybe you need a cold shower. Get that blood to your forehead.
No. I'm pan. No, I like to take the root. Okay, so last year or the year before last, I don't remember when. I can't figure out linear time anymore. Anyway, at one point in time, they were like, okay, here's your root, here's your sacral. Merge them, make them one. So the root was it last year or was it 21? Anyway, one of these years in the 20s, it was 2020, 2021. It was merging, and I could feel it merging, and it became one. And so now I don't have a root and a sacral. It's all one. And it's just one glowing, big, huge, reddish orange fireball of everything. So have you ever heard anything like that happening?
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, it's, again, the programming has everything separated. The programming of the pictures, the programming of the taught. And yes, each chakra has its own thing, but you really got to investigate what that means to you. Mm-hmm. And if they're not fused, fused, I think, amplifies their power. Mm-hmm. So, again, we're creating this new earth and this new way of being and new programs. So we've got to be able to vocalize, like, oh, mine aren't separate. I'm sorry, like 559 people are out of 560 are separated. I'm one that's not separated. Okay, I accept myself. I'm cool. I'm cool with that. Yeah. Because maybe they haven't realized it yet. That's all. So you're just creating a new possibility of something. But I've absolutely heard of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing is you said it. You said it just now. You said it on the hill. It's being cool with whatever comes your way, that that is for you. People say, okay, so I like to post on the space weather when it's high. I cannot do every single M flare anymore. People are like, where is the space weather? Can't do it no more, y'all. It's too much. It's just happening too frequently to do every M1, M2, M1, M2. I'm just not going to do it. If it gets up there high, I will. Just saying. Okay. So, but anyway, what was I saying? I lost my train.
We're talking about the chakras together. We're talking about the how that they're impacted by the M flares and the solar flares.
Right. So I had someone say, well, I never get impacted by any of these solar flares or space weather. And I said, well, good for you. That's amazing. And they thought, but I feel left out, kind of thing, and I'm like, no. I said, you're just different. You just have a different field. Maybe you're not picking up on it. Maybe it's not meant to bother you. It's just like there are certain humans that are on this planet that are never going to wake up. There's certain humans on this planet that just are meant to be here as normal, everyday, not having to worry about the whatever ascension and all of the stuff, there's some people that just are never going to see, and that's okay. That's how they have to be. And it's just like there's some people that may not be affected by these things. And they felt like that they were doing something wrong, and I was like, no, you're not doing nothing wrong. It's just not affecting you. It's okay. It's all right. Chill out.
Well, it's without the ordinary, how would you know what was extraordinary? And then how would you know what was extraordinary? So, we're a blend of all of it, but some of us just have a little more of something else. So, we're the spice pot. We have different melting everything within ourselves that's just a little bit different. And again, we're at this place where, are you willing to give up all the stuff that you think you've been taught or you think and are you willing to wipe the whiteboard clean and take a look at starting something and creating something that works for you as an individual, and then be okay as that individual self? Do you, boo?
Yep. Equality, balance, gratitude. This is what I wrote. I wrote this down in my meditation before us coming on. I put embrace practical differences and resonances. That's what came through. And celebrate the similarities, but embrace the differences. And that isn't just within you and others, but that's within you and you. You and how you are traversing your path, But this month is a lot about practical drama. So it's just, this is it, just know, hey, everybody's going to be a little bit more edgy. Everybody's going to be wanting to be heard. It's also, until Leo season's out the door, people are a little needy. Leo is a little needy sometimes because they want a lot of attention because they rule, the stardom, being up on the stage and doing their thing. And so there's going to be a lot of people feeling that influence. But it's more practical drama, and it's kind of like getting nitpicky about a lot of little different things when really, what's the big picture here? We're just going to keep going on our path, climbing the the fucked up mountain.
Yeah, that.
We're going to keep climbing that mountain.
Yeah, that.
Okay. And on that note, we're going to start. I think that this is it. I think, honestly, we've only had a few people join us today, but we'll see you on the replay, and we're glad that you're here on the replay. Anything else before we go, Sandra?
No, just understand that we're processing. We're still in that merge and that purge, and allow yourself to do it individually. And we're also doing it collectively. So you may be carrying a little bit of energetics for your neighbor who can't carry it all. And that could come through your dream state. That could come through your physical body. Stop asking, is this mine or is this the collective? I don't understand. It's all you. It is all you. We're all on the same threads. It's just, how can you help filter and process to help out yourself and help out your neighbor?
Leroy said, just tell them all it's all oneness. He's so funny. He's like this, lion. He's a lion discotheque 70s black lyran. He's just the coolest dude. He smokes organic. He rolls up his own cigarettes, smokes organic cigarettes. It's so cool. It's a cool groovy
There's
cat.
so much power in truth and simplicity.
Yeah, and authenticity.
Yes.
That's right. Thank you for coming and doing this with me today. And thank you
for having me.
And look at Amy's here. She said thank you. Please share it out. If you happen to see it, share it on YouTube, share it on Facebook. Please tell everybody that we'll be doing this series. This is our first one. And we really, 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 really had fun with this. So I think we should do it again.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Walk in the light and spread the sparkle.
As the world turns, so do you. Choose whether you're going to turn or be tossed.